This is our next Zoomer Times interview, and this is extremely special for me because Linda Sauget is not only a personal friend, but she's someone I admire so much, and she's really the person who encouraged our company to start doing Zoomer, what we'll call them Zoom meetings, and now we changed it to Zoomer Times TV, and we're not doing the radio because we think this is the next evolution. And Linda, again, thank you. You're a smart lady. And we'll talk about this in a minute, but I wanted to just tell everybody, for those of you who don't know how Linda Sauget and I even became friendly, was she wrote a book. And the book was very interesting. The name of the book, of course, is Yes, right? Yes, you'll see it. What is it?
If you think it.
If you think it. Put it up so everyone can see it. If you think it, right. I mean, that's a very unusual name and title. And Linda is a very powerful executive. This isn't something she normally would do. So why don't we even, I don't even know why you did that to begin with. And then after that, we'll talk about writing columns, but how did you write that book and why?
Well, Anita, I had been collecting quotes for years that motivated me or encouraged me or made me think philosophically. And what I just noticed, I was an English major, I have a master's degree in English. And so what I noticed over years and years of just reading, that there was a theme that kept coming up by famous people, by scientists, by philosophers, in all of the Bibles, in every religion, by poets, singers. I mean, we're in any genre that you go to, there is one theme that I kept noticing, and it is what you think determines how your life goes. That's the title, If You Think It. The way you, as you think, so shall it be. And it's not magic, but it is that the way we think, our attitudes, just determine how we see things and how we react to things. Are we positive? Are we negative? Are we optimistic? Are we pessimistic? Those character traits affect how we are in life, how we view life, how much satisfaction we have in life. And so I started collecting these quotations about our thoughts. And I ended up collecting quotations, really 1,000 probably, or 2,000, but I put together a sampling of quotations that span 2,500 years, going back 2,500 years ago, starting with the Buddha. And actually that was 2,500 years before Christ. And so I start with the Buddha and I kind of go through history, tracing this idea about our thoughts, our attitudes, the way we focus, the way we perceive things. And so that was the genesis of putting this book together. And then I think what happened is my publisher sent you a copy. When it was released, it was sent out as complimentary copies to radio interviewers and other people. And I did many different radio interviews, even one in London by phone with somebody from London had a copy, an advanced copy of the book. So I think that is how we first met, was you got a copy of the book. And then I came on the radio show and we talked about it. It was your book of the month feature.
Many years ago. I don't even remember how many years ago.
I think about 2011 or 2011 or 12. And so that's the genesis of the book. It's how I live my life. I am grounded in the foundation of how I am in business, how I am in my life, how I deal with challenges, is this recognition that the way I think is going to impact how my life goes, how I react to things. And so it's in me down to a cellular level. It's more than a belief. It is a knowing that we can control our thoughts. It's not always easy. When things are hard, it's very hard to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and think differently. But I will make this general statement that all unhappiness and all lack of contentment comes from having things different than the way you want them. And so if things are different than the way that you want them, and that is why you are experiencing discontentment or unhappiness, then the way to get them to be the way you want them is to accept it, to look at the way you're thinking about it, what could be good with what's wrong. So I play this game with myself all the time, which is to work through all of life's challenges and situations. Everybody has them, but I work through them with the knowledge that ultimately I need to examine the way I think. How can I think about a situation in a way that would empower me, in a way that would not make me miserable? And of course, with coronavirus, I've had a lot of time to work through those things because it's a difficult time.
That's beautiful. Now we have that on tape. I mean, sometimes people say such great things that, oh, I wish I had videotaped that. Well, we have it now, and that was beautiful. And we have become friends. It started out as business, then it became friends because I have noticed that in Linda for so long, and we did things together, and it's always, no matter what has happened in her life, she has always made it brighter, and she's always thought of others, and that's who she is too. So it has been a great pleasure. And every month, for those who read Boomer Times, you will read Linda's column, and it's called Think Yes. So that was a perfect explanation of why you say think yes. And you make your columns so appropriate, at least for me. Every time she sends a comment, oh, I needed that. So, and we didn't talk about it first. And I'm sure a lot of other people, I think Dan, our producer director of the of Zoomer Times, feels the same way, that they're very appropriate. All right, so now you sit down. Do you sit down when you're thinking, or have you been thinking about it all month, or how do you come up with it?
Usually something triggers an idea. So I'll either see a quotation or read a story. Something will trigger the idea. And then I sit down, and sometimes it is so difficult. It could take days and days and days and days to write 250 words because it's not flowing and I'm not sure where I want to go with it or how it's going to evolve. And sometimes I can sit down and it just comes out, and then I can spend the next several days tweaking it and revising it. But there's always an idea, and I want to put a positive twist on it. So right now, of course, all the difficulties that people have been going through, a lot of my columns in the past have been in one way or another about how to deal with difficulty, how to deal with disappointment, how to take a positive approach to things, how to look at difficulties and terrible things in a positive way. It doesn't mean that we don't have to mourn, grieve, suffer. We have to go through all of the normal human emotions, but some people can get stuck there and they can't get past bitterness and anger and upset. And everybody has a right, depending on what's going on in your life, to have those feelings. But at some point, you have to do something with it, turn it around, contribute to others. I had a friend whose husband committed suicide. She's a brilliant teacher. And I said to her, you're going to grieve and be angry, but at the end of this, you need to reach out to other people who have family members who kill themselves. You have to do something with your grief. And so that's what some of my columns are about, like turning it around, thinking about things in a different way. Things happen to us. That's life. Now, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be miserable? Are you going to stay unhappy, become bitter, angry? Or can you really elevate yourself and others through your actions, through your thoughts and actions? So something like that, an idea like that will trigger, I'll find a quote or a story, and then that's the basis of a column.
And so now Linda, as she said, she didn't say what her business is, but it is working in the medical field. But the point is that when I think about your doing something now, even extra, Linda decided she wanted to now take all the good information she has and spirit and motivation and help the older adults in their senior living communities. Now, that was a brave step for you. I mean, nobody knew you really as a person to do this. And tell us how that all worked and what you're doing now.
Well, I'm still doing everything that I've always done, but my real passion is doing that, is speaking to seniors. And I'm trying to think of, it started that from the column. And somebody contacted me.
That's right. We put in your column, said if you want Linda to come and speak, just email her, right?
You have my email address. And
yes.
Somebody emailed me. And it was actually from a temple and said, I'm the head of the sisterhood in my temple. Do you speak before groups? Oh, sure I do. Yes, absolutely. So I started doing that kind of speaking, and then I don't remember if I reached out, I think, to an assisted living facility and asked for the activity director and started talking about my book and the column and a positive approach. And I was invited in to speak before their seniors, and it kind of mushroomed. So I talked before 4 or 5 different facilities every month. I'm a regular, once or twice a month even. But now all of the facilities are locked down, coronavirus. They cannot have any visitors, not even their own family members.
Right.
And certainly not an outsider, and no lectures, no entertainment, no people that normally come in and put on programs at the facilities. So now there is a hiatus, I'm guessing, until we get a vaccine and it's safe for people. We vaccinated everybody, including the seniors, and it's safe for people to be back in closer contact. So now what I'm doing, since I can't go to the facility and speak, I am making little videos, short videos on my computer, and with a positive message, just 5 minutes. And I may do longer ones, but right now I'm just doing 5-minute positive messages and putting it, sending it to the activity directors, and they are putting it through, I guess, like a closed channel TV where they can communicate with all the residents in their apartments. And so now they're putting my videos. And of course, the people who used to come to the lectures, they all recognize me. They're so glad to see me again.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing that in the interim till I can get back to being able to speak in person.
So I have an idea. This was a little different kind of an interview, but maybe your next interview, we just go straight with something as though you're talking to them, because if you're talking to them, you're talking to everybody. It isn't just the seniors. We all need the motivation. And so maybe our next video would be that, and then you'll get the YouTube and you can send the YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. That's
maybe you see, you've done so much for us. Now we're going to, partner with you and help you with that too, because you do have a great message. Okay. Well, I think it's a very good time for us to share a story that's so beautiful. There are so many people out there looking for a partner, friend, somebody. And Linda knew my husband before he passed away, and we had some wonderful times. And then when Linda wasn't sure that she wanted someone, but she didn't know who or how or what was going to happen. I know it's getting personal, but I have to just do this.
That's okay.
And we would sit and we did a lot of things together. We had some fun. And then one day she said to me, I am ready. I am ready to meet someone. That's what she said. And I always thought she was ready, but maybe she didn't feel she was ready, because I said, are you going to get on, any of these online dating? She said, I don't think so. She didn't know what she was going to do. And then she, of course, took her positive message, which she said, just told you all about. Yes, I am going to definitely think in a certain way. And what happened, Linda?
Well, it's inexplicable, because it seems so mysterious that out of the clear blue, I should meet someone. But that's exactly what happened. Somebody moved to Florida, actually to Miami, to Coral Gables, from Pittsburgh, and he went to a gym and happened to meet a man at the gym who was a 40-year friend of my brother. So he just meets somebody at the weightlifting machine. This guy happens to be one of my brother's oldest friends.
Oh my.
Been friends for 40 years. And the two of them started talking at the gym. And one day, this friend handed my phone number. Now, he asked me first. He said, I met someone at the gym that I think you would like. Is it okay if I give him your phone number? And I said, oh, sure. I didn't know if he would or not, but I said, sure. So he gave my phone number to this gentleman at the gym, and he called me. We met for lunch, and the rest is history. So it's a beautiful relationship. He's a beautiful person. You've met him, you know him.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, he is absolutely charming, well-educated. He's a retired physician, but he has a lot of other things that are really interesting. He is a real athlete. I mean, you don't even want to know how much he moves his body every day, but also he's a chef in his own right of vegan foods. Vegan? Is that vegan? And now Linda she always ate good vegetables, fruit, meat, everything that normal you do, but she's in good shape. But now he has turned you into a vegan also.
Yes.
And I say to Linda, so how can you do that? Was that easy to do? And she tells me the kind of food they eat is fabulous. And so I asked her, what is a typical breakfast?
Fruit. 10 different kinds of fruit. Or sometimes like a tofu scramble, like peppers and mushrooms and different vegetables sauteed, and then tofu crumbled into it like a scrambled egg, like an omelet. So that's a really very special breakfast.
That sounds good. I like tofu, but I don't think I've ever done that.
Oh, yeah. Just squeeze it, crumble it, and put it in with vegetables and scramble it, and it's delicious. It really is.
I see. Okay, so now you've had your breakfast. What are you doing for drinking? I mean, are you just drinking water, or are you drinking fruit drinks?
No fruit drinks, but a protein drink, water, iced tea, like Crystal Light iced tea we drink, sugar-free, LaCroix, carbonated waters. Mm-hmm. So that, and of course, I drink red wine.
Right, but so that's the interesting thing that although he is is it a vegan or vegan? We say vegan, right? Vegan. A vegan. When Linda goes out, she will eat something if she likes it, but she's basically become a
Mhm.
vegan because it's easier and it's good. And you've lost a lot of weight, you said. You look great.
Thank you. I lost 10 pounds.
Yeah, and you didn't do that trying. It just happens, right?
Just happened, yeah.
So, but he does all the cooking of this, which is really amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say 90%. He does 90% of the shopping and cooking. That's how good he is.
And when you think about this, he has to plan. I mean, you don't want it to get boring. Does it ever get boring?
No, no, he's so creative. He makes amazing soups and chilies, delicious. Yeah, no, even salads. He puts so many different ingredients in that every salad is different, even salads. So, nope, it doesn't get boring.
So you can eat nuts, though. That's okay.
Yeah, I eat nuts.
Mhm. You just don't. Yeah, right. So actually, it's probably less expensive in some ways. Although you want to eat, do you eat mostly organic?
Yeah, I mean, we eat both. I don't think it's any less expensive because good
Oh,
fruits and vegetables are expensive, but we
mhm.
just don't eat any animals. No
Right,
chicken, no beef, no
right.
fish, but
Mhm.
it's it is very easy actually. It's very healthy.
But you don't eat pasta? Do you eat?
Well, you can eat vegans can eat grains, pasta, potatoes, whole grains, but Dave doesn't. He just eliminated that whole food group.
Is
Um,
that because of weight gain?
yeah, yeah, just for the calories of it.
Hmm. Well, one day we are going to one of our next Zoomer Times interviews. We're going to ask Dave to grace us with his talk because he's a very, very sweet, smart man, and actually he's going along with Linda now to her interviews because as a physician he can add comments that Linda may not feel, appropriate.
Well, you know what that is one of the things that makes our talks so well received because as a physician he has so much credibility, especially with the seniors. They just hang on every word. If I talk about positive thinking and how good that is, he can talk from a physiological point of view, what your thoughts physiologically do in your body, the hormones that are released. And so he gives the scientific side behind why optimists live longer and why positive thinking is so healthy. And so I talk about it from, a spiritual point of view, but he talks about it from a clinical medical point of view. It's really interesting. That would maybe be a good talk that we have with you as an interview.
Yes, I
Medical stuff.
remember that. We should do that next time. And did he make speeches before in his career? Was that part of it?
It wasn't these kind of speeches. He would speak at medical conferences, but not casual. Those are presentations that you prepare for a month in advance if you're speaking to a group of doctors as a doctor. So he did speak, but not in this kind of a casual way.
Well, I must say that it's absolutely wonderful that you're so honest and so open, and that's what I knew we could do today. So people will get to meet you because we're going to have you speaking again. And so when he's available, we'll do something like that. But before you leave, just quickly tell us how you're using Zoom.
Well, Zoom for me has been a lifeline during this lockdown because Dave has 2 children. I have 1. We speak with our children every week on Zoom. I'm having business meetings on Zoom with clients, with staff. I have regular scheduled each week meetings with our friends. We have, like this Friday night, we have a book group that we belong to a little group, a book group, and that group is meeting on Zoom. So I've just been using this constantly, and it has helped me feel connected with people, not isolated. And so I think it is the greatest technology. And after this coronavirus is over, I think this is going to be incorporated. There's no need in a lot of cases for business travel. You can meet online like this, and I think business travel and business meetings, there's always a good, being in person and going out to lunch and dinner is great for business, but also I think there are a lot of times where it's much more efficient to do it this way rather than traveling. And so I love this technology. And for you, I think it's great because people get to see you. Even when you were doing interviews on the iPhone, we could see the speaker, but we didn't get to see you. And
oh, yeah. Well, that's going to be exciting, isn't it, to see me? But I love to see my interviewees. And you did a great job.
We love to see you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you did a great job today. And we are definitely going to have you back. And Linda, good luck. We're so happy. And just stay safe.
Thank you, Anita. You stay safe too. Be well.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye.